Live, we go next to Minneapolis and the county courthouse there as we await the verdict. We're watching for that pivotal verdict after almost a year of protests and calls for racial justice over the death of George Floyd. The jury at the trial of the former police officer accused of murdering Floyd is set to start its first full day of deliberations. Magda Gabriel-Selassie is back with us this morning from George Floyd Square, and that's a memorial about 5 kilometers from the courthouse. Magda, thank you again for coming back and keeping us up to date on what is happening there. The jury's been out, we know, for just a few hours, but there must be a lot of anticipation. And I know, we were talking about yesterday, a bit of a sense of unease. How would you describe the mood on this day, the first full day of deliberations?
Well, you're right. You know, people here in George Floyd Square and beyond are anxiously waiting this verdict. We were actually here yesterday afternoon, and we met a man who came all the way from Florida because he thought it was important for him to be here when this verdict is handed down. But of course, you know, the jury's only been doing this for a few hours. They were let go yesterday afternoon to start deliberations, and we were at the courthouse. There was a very large demonstration. Hundreds of people were there. It had only been a couple of hours, but this man who saw our camera ran over and asked us, you know, was there a verdict? Had there been a verdict yet? So that just goes to show you how anxiously people here are waiting for that decision. But of course, it could take hours, it could take days, and the wait continues. And as for this jury, you know, they're going to have to make a decision, a unanimous decision on all 3 charges. So the wait continues, Heather.
This has been one of the most closely watched trials in the United States in decades, Magda, and there's been almost a year of emotional protest, all sorts of political commentary on this. And now remarks from a high-profile Democratic congresswoman have become an issue in all of this. Tell us about Maxine Waters and what she said and the impact it's having.
Yeah, so Maxine Waters, a congresswoman, was at a demonstration, and essentially she was telling the crowd that if there wasn't a guilty verdict in this case, then they should be prepared to be more confrontational. And that comment actually came up after the jury was sent off to deliberate, and it was brought up by Derek Chauvin's lawyer. He was asking for a mistrial based on that comment and also some of the media coverage. Now, the judge dismissed that motion, but he had more to say as well. Take a listen.
Well, I'll give you that Congresswoman Waters may have given you something on appeal that may result in this whole trial being overturned. This goes back to what I've been saying from the beginning. I wish elected officials would stop talking about this case. Their failure to do so, I think, is abhorrent, but I don't think it has prejudiced us with additional material that would prejudice this jury. A congresswoman's opinion really doesn't matter a whole lot. Anyway, so motion for mistrial is denied.
But it does seem as if Derek Chauvin's lawyers kind of laying the groundwork there for a possible appeal if there is a conviction. So we'll be continuing to cover this and waiting to hear a verdict from the jury.
Magda, thank you very much. We'll look forward to speaking with you next. Magda Gabriel-Selassie, part of our CBC News team right there in Minneapolis for the Derek Chauvin trial.